and I'm going to record.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, good evening. How was your Thursday? You're welcome to another edition of the Fintech Open House. This is the November 2021 edition. This is the November 2021 edition, and we are here to discuss financial inclusion, everything beyond the hype that you've heard about financial inclusion. And I have the honor of discussing with Mrs. Nkem Okocha, the CEO founder of Mamamoni. We'll meet her in detail later on. But first of all, I would like to talk about what we do at the Payment Log. So the Payment Log is an edtech that is focused on solving the problem of skilled talent in the fintech industry. And we do that by facilitating rapid training for fintech professionals of all categories. So we're not just focused on tech, we are focused on risk, we are focused on operations, we are focused on project deployment, we are focused on product management, and we are focused on business management as well. So we have all of that in the academy strewn across different courses. We also hold a monthly discussion session on various burning topics in the fintech ecosystem, like what we are doing today. And today we are discussing financial inclusion. So I'll be handing over to Nkem Okocha to introduce herself. Then we set a structure for the discussion, and then we'll have a good time discussing. Nkem, over to you. Hi, Nkem, over to you. You need to unmute yourself.
So am I supposed to?
So we'd like to meet you. Hi, so we'd like to meet you. Yes, please just introduce yourself.
Okay. So thanks for having me, Payment Log. My name is Nkem Okocha, and I am the founder of Mamamoni Limited. Mamamoni is a fintech social enterprise that empowers low-income female entrepreneurs by providing financial literacy trainings and microloans for them to start their businesses. I have over 8 years experience working in the banking sector. Before I started Mamamoni, I started as a note counter. I used to be a customer service personnel, then customer data management staff, before I resigned to start my organization called Mamamoni. And I've been doing this for the past 8 years, working with low-income female entrepreneurs across different communities, different markets in Nigeria.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nkem. So Nkem, what we're going to do now for our viewers on YouTube is that we're going to set a structure for the discussion, just to guide us, because in my previous chat with you, me and you can talk about this thing for like 2 hours. So because people are tired from work, but they've tuned in to listen to us, we'll set a structure for the discussion. So we'll discuss the definitions first of all, so that we just clarify what various terms are. Then we'll dive in a bit into your financial inclusion journey. Then we'll now look at the myths and the challenges that are involved in doing anything that is about financial inclusion. And then we'll look at the future. We'll like your views on the future as an expert in this industry. 8 years in banking, 8 years in Mamamoni is not a joke. You would have garnered a lot of experiences, and there are things that you could predict, as trends for the future. And we'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So this will be the structure of our conversation. Is that all right?
Okay. Yes,
so fine. So let's dive into the first part of it, the definitions. So what would you define as financial inclusion from your perspective?
Okay, so for me, I would say through my work, what I would define as financial inclusion is empowering people to conduct financial transactions, making it easy, making it accessible. So when I say empowering people, I'm very particular about income generation. So because if there is no income, there is no ability to conduct financial transaction. So when you talk about financial inclusion. So you are talking about not only access to credit, we're talking about access to insurance, access to payment, access to different financial services. But these people to be able to conduct any financial transaction, there must be an income generation. So that's why empowering people to conduct financial transaction in a very easy, affordable, it needs to be affordable. So that's what I would say is financial inclusion for me.
That is very concise as well as very profound. It's like you give me a card and I don't have the money to put in the card. You give me a BVN and an account and I don't have the money to put in there. Why? Of what use is it to me?
Yes.
Very, very, very profound. Thank you very much, Nkem. So we hear some other words when people are talking about financial inclusion, right? And we would like you to shed some light, on those terms. We've heard of DFS. I think that's digital financial services. And we've heard of micro credits and micro loans. What do those terms mean in relation to financial inclusion?
So when you say DFS, just mean, like you said, digital financial services, just conducting financial services by using through digital means. So it could be through your mobile, it could be through maybe your maybe a website that you're using, like let's say a digital device. That is what it means. So when you say digital financial services, you're using a digital device to conduct financial transaction. So it's like leveraging technology to deliver financial transaction. In the informal sector, they do not use digital
devices,
tools. What they do is they just take the money, that's cash. They are using hand to hand. So that's what they do. They're not leveraging these digital tools or digital devices. Sorry. So that's what it means when we say digital financial services. Then when you say micro loans, that is micro, like we all know, means small. So giving people access to credit there's a small credit. So for us, that's where we focus on. So you're giving people 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira to as loans to start or sustain or grow their small businesses. So small loans, that are what we call microcredit or micro loans. So just assessing loans in Nigeria now, that's what I'm using, like 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. So those are small loans. So small loans are what we call microcredit. So these small loans are for women, or will I say, I won't say only women. So low income earners or low income entrepreneurs frying akara, selling ugu. So people that with 10,000, 20,000, that 20,000 is like big money to them. So these are the people that these small loans are given to.
So it ties back to your definition of financial inclusion, how the first thing should be income generation. So when you give them micro loans and they have whatever businesses they are doing, they can now start generating credit or generating income that they will now use to facilitate financial transactions.
Yes.
Awesome. That's clear. So let's go to the next thing. We would like to look at your journey, because people that have your kind of experience would be doing some other thing, climbing the career ladder in the bank, or even go off to set off some other business like a fintech. So what inspired you to start Mamamoni?
Okay, so I've shared this story on a lot of platforms. I actually started Mamamoni due to my personal experience as a young teenage girl with a widowed mother who had no skill or income after we lost our father. So my mother was a full-time housewife. So there was no source of income for us in the house. So feeding, going to school was a very big challenge for us until a family member came and helped my mother with a small money. So she just gave her like some money to feed us. But instead of using everything, she used part of it to go start a small vegetable business. So, and it was still not enough. So at a time in my life, I had to hawk in the streets of Lagos. I had to go become a helper, a house help to get my WAEC also. So that's really, I told myself that when I get older and I become a billionaire, that I would love to help people, especially women. But this money was not forthcoming. You understand? And I just thought to myself, so after working in the bank, I I I resigned because I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I had a small business. I used to have a small cafe, a book cafe, where people will come and rent books because I love reading. And when I was working in the bank, I'll normally leave my house very early as 4 a.m. to go work on the island. So, but when I resigned in the morning, when I'm going to the office, I saw in the community where I used to say, I would see a lot of idle women sitting, and I would ask them, why are you not going out? They said, no. You see their children running around. Why is she or he not in school? There's no money. So I said to myself, no, this cannot continue. So I just kept telling myself that, wait, money will come, money will come. But when this money did not come, one day I just took all the money that I had in my hand. I printed flyers. I printed, I went to my church. I told my pastor that, see, I want to use this zonal center. I want to empower women. And I'm going to teach them how to fish by teaching them skills. So basically, that's how I started. The first training, I had close to 70 women. And it was amazing after that training. Those women that I used to see sitting down idle, they became engaged. They became diligently engaged. So that propelled me to move further, to go into other communities. Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
Very
can you hear
well.
me?
I can hear you very
Yes.
well.
Okay. So we started going into other communities, and people just started calling us like, Mamamoni, you need to be in this community, you need to be. So that's basically how I started. I started out of empathy to help women like my mother in my community. So I didn't start out, I didn't have this clear vision of, let me just go and I have all these things thought out, just out of empathy to help women in my community. So that's how I started. And
You
the
know,
journey has been
I have been following you on LinkedIn for a while. When you decided to be a guest on this show, I went to everywhere you've had anything that you've recorded. I've not had this story like this before. I've not. So I've had the part about, how you grew up, but exactly how you started Mamamoni, I've not had this part before. It's very touching. It's very commendable. Well done, Nkem. So my next question would have been, why women? But it's very clear.
Yes.
You've answered why women. Then
Yes.
while we were discussing, you've also sort of given us an insight into, that. But while we were discussing previously, you mentioned something very interesting about your approach to product design in Mamamoni or at Mamamoni. And seeing that you're widely read, that you even have a book cafe. I mean, I'm drawing the dots now, but we'd like to hear more about that, about your approach to product design.
Okay, so for us, one of the things that has really helped us at Mamamoni is the relationship that we built with our women. So, we go into the women's community, so we are not playing lip service. We really want that community transformation. So, and these women, no organization has ever come into their community to genuinely teach them these things that we do. So we do financial literacy training. We do income generation skills, that's vocational skills, teaching them different skills, the ones that have a source of income, teaching them another source of income to help them grow their household income. So they know we genuinely care. So what they have done is, we now, when we are designing our product, so we are designing with them in mind. They are telling us what they want. And another thing we did is that we've done HCD design. So that's human-centered design.
Nkem, please hold on. I don't think
Interviews
your
with
internet is not
women
very
in
stable.
different communities, because we really want to create products for the women, not the product that we think it is good. So, oh, really? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Would you mind repeating what you said? Because you started talking about your human-centered design approach.
Okay. Okay. So I said what we
The
starting.
network.
Oh, network. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. So you can try again.
Okay. So what we do is, before we started, what we did was to go into different communities. So we did human-centered design interviews for these women to really understand their problems, their challenges, what they really want. So it is what they want. How do they want to be served? How do they want to transact, as in access financial services, so that the things will go and ask these women. And when they tell us, we'll now come and innovate. You understand? And we've been able to build relationship. So you see these women, for entrepreneurs like myself, you get a lot of accelerator programs, you get a lot of entrepreneurship programs. But for these low-income female entrepreneurs, nobody is thinking that they need any business training. And since we've been able to do that, we've built a relationship with them. So they are able to tell us their challenges, they are able to tell us what they want, how they want to transact, what they want to see. And we now use that feedback to design our products and our services.
Awesome. That's very awesome. And what you just said leads us into the next segment, and we'll be discussing the myths and the challenges about financial inclusion. So, I mean, you said you started from seeing women that were not doing anything, and you thought that they could use their time, you know, in a better way to improve the income, their household income, and you used your funds, you know, and started this up. I would like to appreciate what kind of challenges you had when you started up. You're not a tech person, you know, but I know that you have layered technology on this thing you're doing, because a lot of people have done what you're doing in different ways, but yours is different because you've structured it and you've put apps and all that, and even taught these women. I was looking at a post you did on LinkedIn where you taught a woman, or a woman was commenting on how she now can use a POS and she was not literate and couldn't read and all that. So tell us some of the myths that you have discovered, things that you used to hear about, but when you started this journey, you found out that were not necessarily true about financial inclusion. Just a few.
Okay, so one of the myths is we think that most times people think that these women are, I don't want to say the word dumb, but these women are, yeah, because these women, they are, will I say, though they might not know how to keep their books, but these women, when it comes to finance, they are gurus. So that's one of, so you're thinking, I've met women, when in this my journey, I've met women that through selling plastics, they built 3 houses. They have tenants.
Yes. Please say it again.
Yes, they built three houses and they have tenants. So when you go into the market, so you're looking at them.
I'm sorry. Please say it again, because some of us that's on this call don't have 2 houses. Please say it again.
So you have women that with plastic, they built houses. They are financial gurus. So when it comes to multiplying wealth, these women are good. Another thing is people think that because they cannot speak English, that means they cannot use digital device. You need to see how these women, they use WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah.
So do they type in their languages, like in Yoruba or something? How do they chat?
No, they are using voice. They are doing meetings.
Excuse me.
Yes, they are using voice. They are using meetings. So they've taught them, Mama, you press this place like this. When you press it, just say whatever you want to say to go to the group. So this person will talk, this person will, they will play it, this person will talk. So how do you get all those funny videos that they are sending? It's these women that are doing it. So people think that they cannot use digital devices and apps. So we have women like you, I shared on my platform. You see that woman, we downloaded the app on her phone and she was able to impute her details. And she's like, wow, this is awesome. She could type her name. So we made it easy. So I know the kind of women we work with. So when we are creating our app, we are not asking too many questions. We are not telling you to go and bring one ID. So we use community, for us, we use community identification because we go where these women are, we know where they are. So we use community. So we are not asking you go and bring one plenty thing. We are telling you, just give us your name, tell us the money, how much you want, because we know you. We don't just want you to come to our office so that you are able to save time. If you listen to that, into that video, she said she no longer needs to leave her shop because she would need to, before she needs to leave her shop, she will enter transportation to come to our office. There'll be traffic on the road. Somebody's waiting for her in the shop. She cannot sell, so she's losing out money, time, and the stress. But now, if she wants to access funds, she just needs to use her mobile phone, and we get the request, and we fund her account.
Guys, so, on YouTube, I hope I'm not the only one that is in this conversation that is bewildered. I hope all of you are listening in. And please, if you have questions, please put them on YouTube, as many as Nkem can answer. If you would like to contact her for a deeper dive, if you're working on any similar thing that you need a partnership, that would be fine as well. But Nkem, I wanted to ask you something, right? Still on the question about myths and challenges. So I saw a video you sent to me about a woman that said she didn't have an account before. Now she has a BVN and she has an account, I think with Union Bank or something like that. So I'm wondering, they are very good with financial knowledge and everything. They've grown businesses and then they know how to use digital devices in their own way, you know, WhatsApp voice and all that. So what stopped that mama, you know, let's call her Mrs. A, from walking to Union Bank in her area and saying, hey, I want a BVN or I want an account number? What did Mamamoni do differently?
So if you listen to me, I said we've been able to build relationship with these women. So trust is key. They trust us because they know we genuinely care. So they trust us to tell them to do the right thing, to direct them to go the right way. You understand? So we've been able to build that trust to tell them, see, one of the things that we do, like that woman, these women, they have money. So they're using a susu, they're giving it to relatives to keep for them. You understand? But what thing will now tell them that, see, this your money, it has no trace. Nobody can trace it. That's what we tell them. So if now tomorrow you outgrow Mamamoni and you need to collect money from, let's say, a Union Bank, a GTB, or maybe Access Bank, they will not be able to trace that you are doing well. You understand? So we'll make them know that, yes, you need to have an account. So we now help them. What we'll now do is to help them facilitate that process. So by taking them, so we have a partnership with Union Bank. They come, we take them, so they are not going to the bank, they are coming to us. The forms are in our office. They fill these forms and we give it to the bank. They get their account number. So when they need to go to the bank is for the BVN. So sometimes we choose, if the bank is very far, we use a branch that is very, very close to them. So they just go do their BVN, then they get their account and they pay their loans through their account.
This is very, very profound. I will just go off for 1 minute. I have an issue with my power and then I'll just come back. Excuse me. Apologies for that breaking transmission. Something happened to my laptop. So everybody that is listening, I would just like you to know that if you're not partnering with Mamamoni, it looks like you're missing out on an opportunity, but I would allow you to make that decision, by yourself if you're listening in. Then I want to go to the next topic. Okay. Wow, this is interesting. So can I ask, what challenges have you had so far in scaling Mamamoni? Because it looks like you're going from community to community, right? Doing all the IDs and all that. What challenges have you had so far?
So, like they say, cash is king. So, can you hear me? If
yes,
you
I can hear you.
me,
I can hear you.
okay.
Yes.
So I said, like people would say, cash is king. So you need funding. So funding is a big challenge because so when you talk about funding, you're developing products. Our work is impact driven, and for impact work, you need a lot of money. So I just told you about how we identify these women, help them. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. So identify these women, help them open bank account. So we are visiting these women. We are going there. So when we are going, we are using transportation. We have field workers. We have volunteers. So it takes a whole lot from myself and my team. So, and you need funding. So when it comes to development, so we outsource, though we design our products, the tech part, the development is outsourced. And when you're outsourcing, you are paying more. You understand? So
yes.
This has been a very big challenge for us. So getting enough funding to scale our team. So we have not raised any money. What we've been doing so far is bootstrapping. So we've been bootstrapping. We're looking to raise maybe next year, but we've just been trying to bootstrap, but at bootstrap tire, like they will say in pidgin. So we are not ready. So with the launch of this app, we know we are now ready to take on every woman across different communities in Nigeria. So I would say funding and funding. So when you get funding, you are able to solve another of our challenge, which is scaling our team. That because if you have our tech team with us in-house, we'll be able to save more money. And to get those tech team, you also need money too. And doing market activation. So when you're activating, so going to these different communities, you need money because you are going into their communities, their transportation, you're getting more people on your team. So funding has been a very big challenge for
Wow.
us.
Interesting. So just two more questions and then I think we'll call it a day if we don't have questions from YouTube. So a lot of fintechs, people that work in fintechs, people that own fintechs and banks as well will be listening right now or even after, we have posted it after the live show. And I want to know, how can fintechs and other private stakeholders, how do you think they can partner to create more value in financial inclusion? So not the kind of inclusion that we hear that people are working on, and it looks like it's focused on elite areas, right? But
hello, Ify,
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. You went off for a while.
You can. Oh,
but
okay.
I can. Yeah, so you
okay,
need
so,
to repeat yourself.
Okay, so I was asking, how do you think fintechs and other private stakeholders can partner in financial inclusion to create more value for everybody?
Okay, so like when I was talking earlier, I talked about how we've been able to partner with Union Bank. So for us, so it's helping our work. So because we are not a financial institution, and these women need, because the ultimate goal is for these women to be able to enter into the formal financial service. So what we have done with Union Bank is to say, we're going to be using your bank to help these women. We are going to kickstart that financial inclusion journey by using Union Bank So, and this partnership has really, would I say, benefited Mamamoni and women. So let me give you an example. So for some of these women, you see that they do not have bank accounts. For those that even had bank accounts and they were not using it. So what we have been able to do is when we give out loans, the women, they are repaying from their account. And as they repay from their account, they are building credit history. They are increasing their credit score. So tomorrow, another financial institution can come and say, if you don't, I can give you something better than what Mamamoni is giving to you. And these women will be able to just move up that ladder. So we are saying, okay, the highest that we do for our women is 100,000 naira. But we've seen some women, after collecting this money from us, because of what we've been able to help them do, they are accessing bigger loans from other financial institutions. We've seen women getting access to other financial services like mutual fund. So one she just opened the account, and because they saw regular transaction in her account, they reached out to her and they like, for those 5,000 naira every month, you can get this mutual fund. And they explained to her, and she started paying that 5,000 naira.
Interesting.
So yes.
So from the loans you've given out, what would you say? How would you describe the default rates?
So I would say we have been very lucky because most of our loans have come back. And one thing that really helped us is this relationship that we built with our women. And one of the things that we have done, so when COVID hit the world, you know, a lot of people, they were giving palliatives, but there was no palliative for low-income female entrepreneurs. One of the things that we did, we pivoted then, was to start giving micro grants. So these women are women that used to collect funding from us, and they got this micro grant to kickstart their business. So aside that, there are other times that we have people that will just come and give us funding to give our women. They know they benefit. Aside the loans that they get, there are other benefits that they get from Mamamoni. So when COVID hit, they got food items, they were not hungry, they got micro grants to kickstart their business. So they know that if Mamamoni gives you money, please pay so that when another thing comes, you'll be able to benefit. So that is what has helped us. And the financial, when we started, after we did that human-centered design at the initial stage, we created what we call Mama Biz Toolkit. So financial literacy, very, very key. And you know, we also
say that again, Mama Biz what?
Mama Biz Toolkit.
Wow, okay.
Mama Biz Toolkit. So with this toolkit, we are teaching them financial literacy, how to manage their business, how to talk to customers, because we don't think, oh, these things don't matter. So we've done Lagos Business School, we've done it to Mamamoni Business School, little chunks that they can understand. You understand? So, and another thing we did was, like you talked about digital financial services. There's also, there's also digital financial literacy. So what we have done, we've also done that by launching Shisabi. So Shisabi is our onboarding platform. So pre-COVID, we'll go to different communities across Nigeria, physical. So now we do hybrid. We have Shisabi on Play Store, where these women can come. They learn everything that we have said. So about loans, they are learning what they need to use loan for, not to go and buy a Shebi, how to talk to customers. So these are the things that have helped us, because it's very, 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 very key.
Nkem, you are a powerhouse. Only you, Mamamoni, Mama Biz Toolkit, Shisabi app, and then you just launched another app. Are you open to talk about it on this show? You just launched another app was it a few weeks ago?
Yes. Yes.
So please tell us about it.
Yes. So the app is on Play Store. It's called Micro Lending. So when you go to Play Store, we're changing the name very soon. It's just type Mamamoni. So actually, it's for low-income female entrepreneurs, like I shared earlier. So what we did was to test run with our women before we now launched. You understand? So they can just basically request for 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira to fund their businesses. They don't need to come to us. So,
and then you disburse into those accounts that they've created with the BVN. This is an end-to-end solution. Wow.
Yes. So the first thing first. So like we did an outreach last week, and most of the women, they were wow. They were like, okay, with my phone, I can. So for the ones, if you see the video I sent to you, for the ones that couldn't do it with their mobile phone, they came to us to say, okay, Mamamoni, how they came to our office, how can we do this thing? We also want to benefit. The ones that did not have bank account, we, as at today, even today, we still opened Union Bank account for them.
So question for Yan is a question that may be in the minds of many people who will be listening to this afterwards. Nkem, all these app things, but these women, they say they don't have money to afford smartphones. So anytime anybody's designing any product across a particular market segment, they will group them differently. And then below the pyramid, which is where the community rural people would fall into, they'll be like, oh, these guys, maybe give them USSD, because they don't have phones that you can have apps, but you are in the midst of them and you're doing HCD and you're doing app, you're doing Biz toolkits. Do they have money for smartphones?
So some of them do not have money for smartphone, but they have family members that do, that will give them that phone. So there is always a family member that has smartphone, and this smartphone. So our solution is a progressive. So PWA. So is a progressive web application with. So it's a progressive web application. So when I mean progressive web application, for those people that may not understand, so when we launch it, so when you type the website, so you see a pop-up comes up on that. It doesn't have to be a very big smartphone, just low-end smartphone. That pops up, something pops up and says, do you want us to install? So when you just click on it, it just goes on the phones, the smartphone on the screen. So the icon, Mamamoni icon, is just there. So when you click on it, you're actually going to the website. So in case you don't have Play Store on your phone, but you have a browser, you understand? So there's only somebody that has a small smartphone in the home. You understand? For those that's why if you remember, I mentioned hybrid. So for those that do not have, we will now use the web. That's the PWA, will now use that to apply for them.
Okay, so I have one question here. Have you thought of partnering with agent banking operators, so people that have super agent licenses? Have you thought of partnering with them?
Yeah, we've thought of partnering with them, but like I said, one of the things that has really helped us is building that relationship with women. So there's something that we are doing. So for us, what we call them community champions. So in every community that we go, we call these women community champions. So these are the people that we are currently leveraging. So for now, we have no partnership. The only partnership we have is with Union Bank, our bank, the Blue Bank.
How can people reach you?
So people can reach us at info@mamamoni.org. That is info@mamamoni.org. info@mamamoni.org.
I am blown away. I don't have any further questions for you, Nkem. This has been a very, very rewarding time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing from your knowledge, from your expertise. Congrats again for entering Seed Stars. We wish you all the best. We're rooting for you.
Thank
you for everybody that has tuned in to listen to this phenomenal woman. Thank you again. Join us in December for our next edition on the FinTech Open House. Also keeping locked in for messages from Payment Log on our courses and other things we have lined up, especially in our community. I think we'll be having a networking event in our community very soon. If you're new to FinTech and payments and you're looking at increasing your network for different purposes, you would want to come on that program that we have, a networking program that we have that will be virtual, by the way, so it doesn't, it's not location based. Thank you very much again, Nkem. We really appreciate. Thank you. Thank you to the Payments Log team as well.